The iconic TV series Fame, 1982 to 1987, brought music, dance, and drama into the homes of millions, capturing the hopes and hardships of young performers chasing their dreams. But while the show celebrated ambition and talent, some of its most beloved stars faced heartbreaking fates in real life. In this video, we take a look at the actors who helped make Fame unforgettable, those whose lives were cut tragically short. From rising young talents to respected veterans, their stories go far beyond the screen. Join us as we pay tribute to the stars of Fame who left a lasting mark before leaving us far too soon. Gene Anthony Ray was born on May 24, 1962, and burst onto the scene as Leroy Johnson in Fame in 1982 at just 20 years old. Leroy's fierce, raw energy and streetwise bravado captured the restless spirit of a young man desperate to escape his troubled environment, reflecting much of Ray's own chaotic reality. Despite his natural talent, Ray's career was plagued by instability. He was famously expelled from the High School of Performing Arts, just like his character, for disciplinary issues. Throughout his life, Ray battled substance abuse and erratic mood swings, which led to missed opportunities and professional setbacks. Rumors of volatile outbursts on set and strained relationships with producers surfaced, painting a portrait of a brilliant but deeply troubled individual. His personal life was equally tumultuous: multiple failed relationships, allegations of domestic troubles, and his HIV-positive status at a time when the stigma was crushing isolated him further. He ultimately died on November 14, 2003 at 41 from complications related to a stroke. And Nelson was born May 27, 1916, and portrayed the charming yet sharp-witted school secretary Mrs. Berg in Fame from 1982 at age 66. While Nelson's character was a beloved figure of warmth and steady humor, the actress's own life was marked by quiet struggle and hidden bitterness. Industry insiders recounted tensions on set, with Nelson occasionally clashing with younger cast members and crew, a side rarely seen by fans. Behind closed doors, she faced long-term loneliness and estrangement from family, contributing to a sense of isolation despite her public persona. Battling depression and declining health in her later years, Nelson's private life was a stark contrast to the cheerful facade she maintained professionally. She died at 76 on June 2, 1992, leaving a legacy of subtle resilience tinged with unspoken sorrow and the unvarnished realities of aging in Hollywood's unforgiving spotlight. Albert Hague was born October 13, 1920, and began playing the demanding music teacher Mr. Sharofsky in Fame at age 62 in 1982. His character's stern but ultimately nurturing nature mirrored Hague's complex life story as a Holocaust survivor and émigré who had endured unimaginable hardships. While publicly respected and admired for his resilience and artistic discipline, whispers from cast and crew hinted at Hague's sometimes cold and inflexible demeanor, a reflection perhaps of his deeply ingrained survival instincts. Despite his professional success, Hague grappled with bouts of isolation and melancholy, which few dared to discuss openly. His private life was largely guarded, though some close associates noted his struggle with emotional withdrawal and a persistent wariness of trust, leaving behind an aura of mystery. Hague died on November 12, 2001 at 81, remembered for his commanding presence but also for the shadows of trauma that shaped his life beyond the spotlight. Ken Swafford was born July 25, 1933, and took on the role of Vice Principal Quentin Morlock in Fame in 1983 at age 50. His character's gruff, authoritarian style echoed Swafford's off-screen reputation for being difficult and volatile. Known for his tough guy roles, he developed a reputation in the industry for unpredictable outbursts, frequently clashing with directors, producers, and co-stars. His personal life was no less stormy. A bitter, highly publicized divorce exposed a darker side filled with accusations of infidelity, financial disputes, and personal failings. Struggling with alcohol abuse and rumors of bullying behavior on set, Swafford alienated many in the business. The estrangement from his children added to his private turmoil, painting a portrait of a man both respected and feared. He died at 85 on November 1, 2018, his career long but complicated, marked by hard edges and personal battles that often overshadowed his professional achievements. Morgan Stevens, born October 16, 1951, began portraying David Reardon, the empathetic English teacher inspiring troubled students, in 1982 at 31. Reardon's role as a compassionate mentor belied the turmoil in Stevens' personal life, which was catastrophically altered after a 1989 incident where he was violently beaten by LAPD officers during a DUI arrest that was later dismissed. This abuse led to physical and psychological trauma, severely impacting his career and mental health. Stevens struggled publicly with substance abuse and depression, alienating many in Hollywood while battling to reclaim his reputation through a landmark lawsuit exposing police brutality. His personal relationships crumbled amid these pressures, and he retreated from the spotlight. Stevens eventually succumbed to arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease on January 26, 2022 at 70, his life a tragic blend of talent, victimization, and survival against systemic injustice. Carrie Hamilton was born on December 5, 1963, and portrayed the rebellious and fiercely independent Reggie Higgins in Fame starting in 1986 at age 23. Reggie's punk rock defiance and raw vulnerability mirrored Hamilton's own struggles behind the scenes. The daughter of Carol Burnett, Carrie's early life was shadowed by drug addiction, a battle she fought publicly and privately throughout her youth. Though she managed to carve out a promising career as an actress and writer, her personal life was marred by heartbreak and instability, including a string of broken relationships and periods of deep depression. She was known for her fiery temper and intense emotional volatility, which occasionally spilled into public scenes and backstage conflicts. Her battle with sobriety made her a vocal advocate, yet the pressures of Hollywood's darker sides never fully released their grip. Tragically, her life was cut short at 38 on January 20, 2002 due to lung and brain cancer, leaving behind a haunting narrative of brilliance intertwined with pain and a relentless fight against personal demons few fully understood. Dick Miller, born December 25, 1928, joined Fame in 1984 at age 56 as Lou Mackey, the grizzled yet tender-hearted janitor whose unpretentious wisdom offered grounding amid the youthful chaos. Miller's long career was celebrated for its everyman charm, but behind the scenes, he faced significant hardships. Known for his sharp wit, he often clashed with industry powers, especially when resisting typecasting, which stalled his chances of leading roles. Financial troubles plagued him in the 1980s, worsened by a hidden struggle with alcoholism that nearly cost him his career. Miller also endured a bitter and public falling out with a close friend and collaborator, rumored to involve legal threats and years of silence. Nevertheless, he maintained a cult status among fans and peers until his natural death on January 30, 2019 at 90, leaving behind a legacy mingled with resilience and private pain. Graham Jarvis, born August 25, 1930, portrayed Mr. Bob Dyrenforth, the rigid and often exasperated principal of the Performing Arts High School, in 1986 at age 56. His character embodied the suffocating bureaucracy clashing with youthful creativity, a constant foil to the students' rebellious spirit. Jarvis had a steady acting career playing neurotic or officious types, but behind the scenes, his life was shadowed by intense loneliness and bouts of depression that few colleagues saw. Despite maintaining a polished public image, industry whispers hinted at his struggles with alcoholism, which he hid carefully. The toll of his hidden battles became more evident in later years as his health deteriorated due to multiple myeloma, diagnosed long before his death on April 16, 2003 at 72. His death marked the quiet end of a man who, like his character, often seemed trapped by invisible constraints, battling personal demons far from the spotlight. Madeleine Roux, born October 3, 1935, began playing Mrs. Schwartz, a nurturing teacher, in 1982 at age 47. Her character's resilience mirrored Rue's own extraordinary battle with multiple sclerosis, diagnosed in 1977 but kept hidden from the public for years. Despite her determination to continue acting, Rue endured a tumultuous personal life marked by a scandalous affair with a powerful Hollywood producer that ended in betrayal and blacklisting attempts. The affair exposed her to vicious industry gossip, and she faced subtle ostracism and lost roles. As her MS progressed, Rue's increasing disability led to isolation and depression, but she found solace in a few close friendships, notably with Angela Lansbury, who helped protect her career. Rue's death on December 16, 2003 at 68 from pneumonia related to MS closed a chapter of courage and quiet suffering, leaving many to reflect on the hidden costs of chronic illness in Hollywood's unforgiving world. Anthony Newley, born September 24, 1931, portrayed the flamboyant Trevor Kane in Fame in 1984 at age 53. Kane's eccentric and theatrical persona closely reflected Newley's own vibrant yet turbulent nature, renowned for his musical genius as co-writer of classics like Goldfinger and The Candy Man. However, behind the spotlight, Newley's life was riddled with chaos. His multiple marriages, including a notoriously bitter divorce from Joan Collins, unfolded under intense media scrutiny, revealing a volatile mix of infidelity, emotional abuse, and financial disputes. Newley's spiraling addictions to alcohol and prescription drugs fed erratic outbursts and violent clashes with colleagues, causing directors to blacklist him from key projects. His private life was marred by sordid affairs and protracted legal battles over child support and alimony payments, further draining his finances and reputation. Despite intermittent comebacks, his later years were shadowed by declining health, loneliness, and regret, culminating in his death from renal cancer on April 14, 1999 at 67. Michael Toma, born December 4, 1926, portrayed Mr. Crandall in Fame's 1982 first season at age 56. His character was a gentle yet firm drama teacher who inspired students to confront deep emotional truths, often serving as their emotional anchor. Behind the scenes, however, Toma's career was marked by a slow but painful decline. Once a respected theater actor, he struggled to adapt to the changing television landscape, leading to frequent clashes with producers who viewed him as outdated and difficult. Personal tragedy shadowed his life. His marriage ended in bitterness and estrangement from his only son, who reportedly blamed him for emotional neglect. Though not publicly scandalous, insiders whispered about his gruff behavior and reclusive tendencies that alienated him from colleagues. Battling cancer quietly and alone, Toma's death on September 3, 1982 at 55 closed a life marked by professional disappointment and private sorrow, contrasting starkly with the nurturing mentor he portrayed on screen. Judy Frell, born May 11, 1938, took on the role of Mrs. Charlotte Miller in Fame beginning in 1982 at age 44. Her character was the caring and empathetic teacher, often bridging tensions between students and staff with a quiet grace. Farrell's real life, however, was riddled with upheaval. Married to actor Mike Farrell for decades, their relationship eventually fractured amid allegations of infidelity and emotional abuse that shocked Hollywood insiders. Following their public and acrimonious divorce, Judy's reputation was complicated by reports of volatile mood swings and a reportedly fractious relationship with younger co-stars, contradicting her warm on-screen persona. Battling loneliness and health complications, she gradually withdrew from the industry. Though she avoided headline scandals, whispers of difficult behavior and private battles with depression persisted until her death on April 2, 2023 at 84, leaving behind a legacy marked by contrast between public kindness and private pain. George Burns, born January 20, 1896, appeared as himself in Fame in 1983 at age 87. His role brought a seasoned, witty presence that contrasted sharply with the youthful cast, highlighting his status as an enduring showbiz legend. Yet behind the cigar and trademark humor was a life marked by turmoil seldom shared publicly. Early in his career, Burns faced financial collapse and the harsh realities of vaudeville's cutthroat environment. His first marriage ended amid rumors of infidelity and abuse, painting a darker picture behind his clean comedic image. Insiders recall his notoriously difficult temperament, including cold clashes with producers and co-stars who struggled with his controlling nature. Although he and Gracie Allen maintained a famously devoted partnership, their private struggles included bouts of depression and Allen's long battle with illness, which Burns struggled to accept. Despite these shadows, he relentlessly reinvented himself, masking personal pain with laughter. Burns died on March 9, 1996, aged 100, of natural causes. Irene Cara, born March 18, 1959, appeared as herself in Fame in 1984 at age 25, embodying the fierce spirit of an artist who rose swiftly but stumbled hard. Her breakout role in Oscar-winning Flashdance What a Feeling catapulted her to stardom, but beneath the surface, Cara's life spiraled into legal and emotional chaos. She engaged in a bitter, drawn-out legal war over royalties with her record label, exposing systemic exploitation and financial manipulation that left her career in tatters. Personal relationships mirrored this turmoil. Multiple volatile romances and a disastrous marriage ended in scandalous public disputes and allegations of emotional abuse. Friends revealed her battles with substance abuse and isolation as she fought to regain control over her life and art. The media often portrayed her as a tragic figure, battling industry politics that stifled her talents. Health complications linked to chronic stress and diabetes marked her later years. Irene Cara died on November 25, 2022, aged 63, from arteriosclerotic and hypertensive cardiovascular disease. Art Carney, born November 4, 1918, guest starred as Tim O'Banion in Fame in 1982 at age 64, bringing gravitas and warmth to the role of a gentle mentor. Yet Carney's life was punctuated by severe personal struggles that nearly destroyed him. His battle with alcoholism in the 1960s was a well-kept secret until a highly publicized on-set meltdown exposed the depth of his addiction. This crisis fractured his family life, contributing to multiple divorces filled with bitter custody battles and allegations of infidelity. Colleagues described him as both endearing and volatile, with mood swings linked to substance abuse that made him difficult to work with. Though he triumphed later with an Oscar and steady work, the shadow of addiction never fully lifted. His relationship with the industry was complicated by his reputation for unpredictability and occasional outbursts. Art Carney passed away on November 9, 2003, aged 85, from natural causes, his life a testament to the price of fame when personal demons go unchecked. Bruno Kirby, born April 28, 1949, appeared as Marty Schwartz in Fame in 1982 at age 33. His character's brash, streetwise energy masked a deeper insecurity, which Kirby seemed to channel from his own turbulent life. Though he enjoyed notable roles in When Harry Met Sally, City Slickers, and Good Morning, Vietnam, his career was marred by repeated clashes with colleagues and directors. Infamously, his friendship with Billy Crystal ended after a bitter fallout reportedly sparked by Kirby's jealous outbursts and unprofessional behavior on set. Behind the scenes, Kirby struggled with depression and addiction, a secret he fiercely guarded. His volatile temper and reputation for being difficult caused him to lose multiple leading roles, pushing him into character parts instead of stardom. Personal relationships were equally chaotic. Rumors circulated about failed romances and estrangement from family members. His final years were overshadowed by a private battle with leukemia, culminating in his death on August 14, 2006, at age 57. Marge Champion, born September 2, 1919, played in Carlton in Fame in 1982 at 63, embodying elegance and artistic discipline drawn from a storied dance career. Behind the poised facade, Champion's personal life was not without controversy. While she avoided public scandal, insiders spoke of her intense, often tyrannical perfectionism, which alienated many protégés and colleagues, leading to whispered stories of emotional manipulation and power struggles within the dance world. Rumors also hinted at covert affairs with influential Hollywood figures that may have shaped her opportunities but at great personal cost. Her marriages were fraught with tension, largely due to her single-minded devotion to her craft and reputation for being cold and controlling. Though she lived to 101, passing peacefully on October 21, 2020, those close to her acknowledged a profound loneliness masked by public grace, suggesting a complex life shaped by ambition and sacrifice far beyond the spotlight of fame. Arte Johnson, born January 20, 1929, appeared as Cliff Armbruster in Fame in 1983 at 54, bringing eccentric humor and charm. Behind his public persona lay a man wrestling with chronic health problems and a volatile temperament. Industry insiders recounted tense conflicts on set, where Johnson's unpredictable moods and sharp tongue made collaboration challenging. Although never publicly scandalized, whispers circulated about heavy drinking and compulsive gambling, habits that strained his professional relationships and contributed to personal isolation. His romantic life remained largely hidden, but rumors suggested a pattern of short, intense relationships that ended badly. Johnson's humor masked a loneliness and frustration intensified by years of cancer battles. He died on July 3, 2019, aged 90, from heart failure after fighting bladder and prostate cancer, closing a chapter on a life of brilliance shaded by private struggles and unspoken conflicts. Signa Asso, born August 15, 1915, portrayed Frida Grauer in Fame in 1982 at age 67, her character radiating European sophistication tinged with mystery. Asso's real life was shadowed by trauma and emotional complexity. Having fled Nazi-threatened Europe, she carried lifelong scars of exile, distrust, and loss. Her marriages were shrouded in secrecy, with rumors of emotional manipulation and intense control over partners. Colleagues often described her as intellectually brilliant but emotionally distant, wielding her cultural cachet like a shield that concealed deep vulnerability. Despite a promising career, she faced professional setbacks linked to her difficult personality and unwillingness to conform to Hollywood's demands, fostering resentment and isolation. Asso died on June 7, 2002, aged 86, from pneumonia, leaving behind a legacy of artistic achievement shadowed by the private cost of survival and emotional exile. Ray Walston, born November 2, 1914, played Bertie Whalen in Fame in 1982 at age 68. His character was quirky and wise, a perfect echo of Walston's own multifaceted persona. Despite a long, decorated career with Tony and Emmy Awards, his later years were haunted by debilitating lupus, which forced him into painful isolation. Industry insiders recall his frustration with ageism in Hollywood, feeling marginalized and replaced by younger stars, a quiet bitterness he rarely expressed publicly. Though known for professionalism, Walston's private life was not without scandal. Rumors of secret struggles with prescription drug dependency circulated, linked to his attempts to manage chronic pain. Colleagues whispered about tense relations with some younger actors, hinting at jealousy and clashes on set. While he maintained a public image of grace and dedication, these hidden battles colored his twilight years until his death on January 1, 2001, aged 86. John Carlin, born May 28, 1933, took on the role of Detective Kessler in Fame in 1982 at age 49. His character embodied a steadfast, gritty moral center amidst the chaos of the series, but off-screen, Carlin's life was anything but stable. He battled a severe gambling addiction that spiraled out of control through the 1980s and 90s, resulting in multiple scandals including a high-profile casino bust that nearly ended his career. His addiction fueled destructive behavior, missed rehearsals, volatile outbursts, and strained relations with producers and co-stars. His personal life was a minefield of broken marriages, with ex-wives publicly accusing him of infidelity and emotional neglect fueled by his compulsive gambling. Industry insiders whispered about his erratic moods, depressive episodes, and attempts at rehab that repeatedly failed. Despite flashes of brilliance on screen, Carlin was haunted by demons that overshadowed his talent until congestive heart failure claimed him on January 22, 2020, at age 86, leaving behind a complicated legacy marked by both resilience and regret. Gwen Verdon, born January 13, 1925, portrayed Melinda McNeil in Fame in 1982 at age 57. Renowned as a Broadway legend and muse to Bob Fosse, her character mirrored her own fiery spirit and elegance. However, her life offstage was riddled with turmoil. Verdon endured a lifelong struggle with childhood leg deformities and chronic pain, yet the darkest shadows came from her tempestuous relationship with Fosse. Their marriage was marred by intense emotional manipulation, infidelities on both sides, and backstage power struggles that almost derailed their professional partnership. Scandalous whispers suggested Verdon's attempts to control and sabotage rivals, while Fosse's drinking and womanizing added strain. Her personal life saw public separations and bitter reconciliations, with friends describing her as both fiercely loyal and dangerously volatile. She died from a heart attack on October 18, 2000, aged 75, leaving behind a legacy both dazzling and deeply fractured. Richard Simmons, born July 12, 1948, appeared as himself in Fame in 1982 at age 34, injecting his trademark flamboyance and relentless positivity. But beneath this exuberant exterior lay a man wrestling with profound loneliness and mystery. Simmons fiercely guarded his private life, fueling rumors about secret romantic relationships and unconfirmed speculations about his sexuality, which he always deflected with humor. His later reclusiveness shocked fans and sparked intense speculation. Friends hinted at depression, possible elder abuse, and mental health decline. Accounts also described controlling behavior towards assistants and a paranoia that alienated those close to him. Despite his public persona as a beacon of health, Simmons' later years were marked by troubling silence and speculation. He died on July 13, 2024, at age 76, from blunt traumatic injuries, with arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease as a contributing factor, leaving behind a life as enigmatic as his showmanship. Who's your favorite character in Fame? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.